So I create a matrix which has 3 rows and 5 columns. Now just see this matrix. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it is a matrix. Now I don't want this 1, 2, 3 in this column wise. I want in a row wise. So what I will do, I will simply press the upper arrow key. So if I press the upper arrow key, I got the same command, what I typed. I need not type again and again. That's the beauty of R. Whatever you are doing, it will be saved. And you have to simply press the upper arrow key. So I will just go right side and I will simply type by row. See, by row, it is giving me a hint. Yes, there is a function. By row equal to true. And if I press enter, so yes, it is storing some value, Z. Now you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Seen the difference between the first matrix and the second matrix? In first matrix, numbers were they were arranged in a column wise. Now I want it in a row wise. I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is a matrix. So matrix is a function which you can use to create matrix. Now people who are teaching data science or who are teaching mathematics to the students or whatever, so they use lot of matrix. So matrix you can use. Okay. So hope this is understood. So matrix. Now tell me, why did I create Z? Why did I create Z? Z is a vector. What is a vector? Vector is used to store value. Okay, now let me find the summary of this vector. Summary. I'll type a command summary. See, there is a command called summary. And if I type Z, can I get something? Yes, I'm getting. See, entire breakup I'm getting. Summary means of variable 1. Minimum is 1. First quartile 3.5. Median is 6.0. I'm getting something. I'm not going to interpret this. That is not my function. I'll just do control L. Summary function, just remember there is something called a summary function. So whenever we will be doing descriptive statistics, there we're going to use this summary function. Okay. So I'll take you back. I'll simply press the upper arrow key. If I press the upper arrow key, I will get to know the history. Yes. Z. Enter. Yes. So this is matrix. Again, I'm pressing control L. Control L is used to the screen. Now I will teach you what is a data frame. Creating a data frame. Creating a data frame. Okay. Now again I'm using hash. Why I'm using hash? Because I don't want R to read. I don't want this R console to read the statement that I am typing. Again, what is a data frame? Data frame is nothing but arrangement of rows and columns, like matrix. It is arrangement of rows and columns. Okay, so press enter. Yes, R is not reading. R is not reading. Okay, now let me teach you what is a data frame. All those people who are pursuing PhD, you remember you data in Excel. You collect data in Excel. Excel is nothing but a data frame. Excel has rows and columns. Yes, all those people who will be collecting cross-sectional data for their research purpose. So they will either you will be sending a Google form, or you will be collecting data on SurveyMonkey, or you will be collecting data in paper and pen format, and then you are going to convert it into an Excel. And even Excel is used for analyzing data. But please don't use Excel for your PhD purpose. Use some good software like R or whatever may be. I would suggest that use R for your PhD. Okay? Yes. So now let me create a data frame. Data frame is nothing but it is a form of a matrix which has rows and columns. Now see how I create a data frame. Let me give an example. I'll take example of a company. Let's say there is a company which has some employees. So I'm creating a data frame. Let's say I want to create a data frame which should have information about employee ID, employee name, employee salary. Yes, and then let's say any other one more variable. Or let's say creating a data frame, so I will create a data frame of students. Now some of you are teachers, and you see students have a lot of subjects. Students have roll numbers, students have names, then marks in English, marks in science, marks in social studies. Yes, so let me create a data frame of students. So I'm creating a data frame. So let's say first I will have roll number. have roll number. Before this, just remember R is case sensitive. If I type X, what will I get? I'm getting some value. Why I'm getting some value? R has read it that X has values. Now, if I want to remove this value, what I'll do? RM, I'll simply type X. Now, if I type X, now X has nothing. So RM is used for, RM command is instructing R that forget that there exists a vector called R. Yes. Now, if I type Y, I'll get some value. Okay, but if I type capital Y, will I get some value? No, it is showing error. Just remember that R is case sensitive. R is case sensitive. Just write it somewhere. R is case sensitive. When I say R is case sensitive, it is going to read small y and capital Y differently. Again, I'm telling you, if I press capital Y and if I press enter, R will show me error and it will say object Y not found. We call it object or vector. Object and vector are one and the same. Yes. Now, if I type small y, yes, I will get some output. But just remember that be very specific. What are you using? Are you using capital Y or small y? For you, y may be y, whether small or capital. But for R, small y may be different than the capital Y. Just remember this. Okay. So now I want to create a data frame. A data frame of students, where they should have their roll number, they should have their name, they should have their marks in science, social studies, mathematics. Yes. So I am creating a data frame. Pay attention. From here, your data analysis, descriptive statistics will start. All of you, just pay attention. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a data frame. So let me first type roll number. See, most of the teachers, you remember, will register. There are roll number of students. So roll number. Let's say I want roll number of students. 1, I'm going to type it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's say 6. I'll not make it complicated. So what it is telling me, unexpected symbol in roll number. It doesn't want a gap. Okay. So what I will do, I'll simply do this thing. I'll not create a gap. Okay. And if I press enter, yes, now it has understood. There is a roll number. It has number 1 to 6. Okay. Now, which is the second thing I want? I want name. I want name. I want some random names of students. So that let's say I write Rohit, I write Salman, yes. Then I write Sunita, yes. I write John. Okay. Then 6 are there. No, I want one more name: Rohit, Salman, Sunita, John, and let's say Suresh. Okay. So these are the names. If I press enter, yes. See now, see this environment window. R is reading. So there is a name which is a character. Now you have a question that why am I typing name in double inverted commas? You see, when I was typing roll number, there was no double inverted commas. Straight away I went down. I write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But whenever you are writing alphabets, the data type of alphabet is character. The data type of alphabet is character. So whenever the data is character, alphabets, in that case you have to use inverted commas. Otherwise R will show you an error. Okay. So I am creating a data frame which should have name, roll number, name. After the, let's say, marks in English. I'm using a short form English. Let's say that English, Rohit has scored 65 out of 100. Salman has scored 45. Sunita has scored 35. Just passing. Sorry, just random number, whatever coming to my mind. John has scored 42. And Vish, let's say he has scored 6. Just random. So how many became? 1, 2. Okay, name, just a second. Name, I have only 5. Here I have roll number 6. So maybe I have to change this also. Wait. I'll change one more name also. So after 86, let me take 75. It should be, okay, so now I'm going to change the name also. Name, I'm going to add one more. I'm going to add, let's say, Rani. Okay. Yes. So I have roll call, I have name, I have English, let's say maths. I want a math score. Combine math score में, let's say people are very good in maths, 98, 99. People are getting very good in maths, 98, 99, 100. Out of 100, let's say 89, 90, let's say 92. 6 now. It should be 6. Everything should be 6. Okay, I take one more subject. I take, let's say, history. Many people found history subject to be very boring in their school time. Let's say history is also for 100 marks. Let's assume it's for 100 marks. So let's say 45, 46, 78, 98. Nobody can score 98 in the, at least in history. Heavy paper, 86, let's say 57, and one more thing, 49. 6 is 6. Okay. So now what to do? I'll create a data frame. So data frame, the command is data dot frame. See, the moment I type data, see, immediately I get a print. Yes, there is a function called data frame. So data frame, yes. Now I want name. Yes, I want, sorry, first is roll call, roll number. See, be very specific. Don't change the vector. Now roll number, name, these are all vectors because everything has a value. Yes, name has some value. It is a character value. Yes, then we have English. Then we have maths. Be specific with the case. History, HIST. If I press enter, am I getting something else? See, I'm getting a data frame. Hope am I clear? If I can zoom it for you, zoom in. Can you see this data frame, friends? So I have a roll number, I have name, I have English, I have maths, I have history. This is nothing but a data frame, more like an Excel. So all those people who are going to do a quantitative research, you are going to collect data in Excel, and that Excel file can be imported in the R, and accordingly, complex statistical operations can be performed on. Okay. Now let's say this is a data frame. So let me zoom out. So I'm finding it difficult. Okay. So this is a data frame. Okay. Let me press. Now let me do one thing. Let me save this entire data frame in a vector called A. If I press enter, yes, now there is one more vector A. Now let me press Control L and simply type A. If I type A, it means R is understood. A is nothing but a data frame which has rows and columns. So vector.
Can you show us how to import data from Excel?
We will let me finish this, sir, and then definitely I'm going to show you. Surely I'm going to show you that. That is part of today's workshop. Okay. So A has all those things. Now let's say I want to see marks only. Let's say I want to see how many marks people have scored in English. Yes. Let's say I want only English column. English is a column. You remember? English is a column. Now if I type E and G, it is going to okay. It is straight away. It is showing me E and G. Okay. If I type maths, will it show? Yes, it is showing me maths. Okay. If I want roll number, then I get roll number. See, why it is showing me? Because these are all vectors, English, maths. That's why it is showing me. Okay. Let's say, okay. No problem. And let me do Control L, press A once again. Okay. So these are my data frame which has rows and columns. Let's say I want to see there is a box bracket. There is a box bracket. If I press box bracket and if I press, let's say, comma 2, what is going to tell me? It is showing me some error. I have to use A, comma 2. Okay, so A, let me try. See, you have to keep on trying in because some here and there maybe some command goes wrong, some R doesn't read it properly. So many. Okay, so my idea was just to teach you how to create a data frame. So so far we have learned 4 things. First is basic arithmetic, second is creating vectors, third is creating matrix, and fourth is creating a data frame. Okay. Now let me press Control L. Okay. Now let us learn a very important topic. See, R has lot of inbuilt data sets into it. Yes, R has lot of inbuilt data sets into it. See, first of all, understand that how R functions. See, as far as small numbers are there, you can type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, 30, 40, you can type. But let's say the data size is huge data sets, more than 1,000 data sets. It will be impractical on your part to keep on typing everything. You can't type it. Always better, that you just import the Excel file. Just now the professor was asking, the research scholar was asking how to import data set. That we are learning after some time. Now either you type in R, if the data is small you type. If the data size is big, you better bring it an Excel file or SPSS file. Yes, bring in the R. And there are a lot of data sets which are there in R for you to practice. So I'm typing the command, just pay attention, BATA, and if I press bracket, and if I press enter, if I press enter, what is it telling me? Yes, I type data bracket, parenthesis. See what is it telling me? If I minimize this, there are data sets in package data sets. Let us go through this data. There is an air passenger data, monthly air passenger. There is a BJ sale data. There is a BOD data, CO2 data. These are data sets that are there in R. So there are a lot of people, when they work on some good data, they just go and upload in the R for researchers and for people to go and practice. If I ask you who is the father of statistics, what will be your answer? Who is the father of statistics? Very good. It is R.A. Fisher. And in fact, R.A. Fisher, even his data is there in R. I'll show you. Iris data. So there is a lot of data. In fact, you can see this Iris data. This data is by father of statistics, R.A. Fisher. R.A. Fisher. And R.A. Fisher and Carl Pearson, they were contemporary of each other. They always had a tug of war as to who is going to invent what. So they always, when R.A. Fisher used to bring something new, Carl Pearson used to bring something opposite to him. So there was always a fight between R.A. Fisher and Carl Pearson. So the story goes like this. You remember Titanic ship, which year it sank? I think 1913. Correct me if I'm wrong. Titanic ship. You can see Titanic, survival of passengers on the Titanic. How many passengers survived? That data is there. R.A. Fisher's data is there. So there are a lot of data which are there in R. Now, how to remove this data? You simply have to type data parenthesis. That's it. The data will come. Now, there is one data which is very popular with all statisticians. This is an empty cars data. Can you see this data, friends? This is motor trend car route test. Now, this is a data which is very popular. In fact, whenever you attend some workshops on car, many statisticians and many car trainers, they use this empty cars data. Now this empty cars motor trend car route test. Now I want to know what is this data. I will simply type question mark and type empty cars. And if I press enter, it will give me something. And just zoom it. What is it telling me? This is a motor trend car road test. And the data was extracted from the 1974 Motor Trend US magazine and comprises fuel consumption in 10 aspects of automobile design and performance for 32 automobiles. So it is telling me a data. It is empty data format. It has a data frame with 32 observations and 11 variables. When I say observation, these are rows. Just remember this. In data frame, rows were observations. So this empty car data, it has 32 rows and 11 variables. Variables are column. Even in your Excel. In fact, this empty car data is nothing but a data frame. It is a data frame. Let me import this data. And it has 11 variables. Means it has 11 columns. So LPG, miles per gallon, CYLs, number of cylinders, displacement, horsepower, all those things. So this is this is a favorite data of all the researchers. Now let me see that R.A. Fisher's data, father of statistician. R.A. Fisher's data is there. Let me use that data, R.A. Fisher, Iris data. So if I simply type Iris here, Iris, and if let me type question mark. So if you want to know anything, if you want to ask anything to R, just type question mark. So if I type question mark Iris and if I press enter, so yes, it is saying Edgar Anderson's Iris data. So this famous Fisher's or Anderson's Iris data set gives the measurements in centimeters of the variable sepal length and width and petal length. Flower, this R.A. Fisher, he was measuring the size of flower and he collected data and he compiled it. That data is there in R for you to practice. So if I bring this data, I can show you. If I simply type Iris and if I press enter, see this data. The data from script window data came in my console window. Just remember this Iris data. How much? What is the number? 150. So if I take you top, see, such a beautiful data which was given by R.A. Fisher, father of statistics. It is still there. So this iris data, it talks about sepal, it talks about sepal width, it talks about petal length. Maybe it is related to flowers. I don't know much about too much of this data, but if you can read here, it will tell you. The species are Iris setosa, versicolor, virginica. Yes, so this is all data set. And if you read this, you'll get each and everything. You see, there are so many researchers who use the inbuilt data set in R to write a research paper, to test some model, to propose some hypothesis, and they publish papers in reputed journals as well as international conference. So R has a lot of inbuilt data set that you can use for practice, also for your research. Yes, am I correct? Okay, so I'm pressing Control L here my screen. Okay, so now let me show you Titan. If I simply press Titan, so it says Titanic, how many people survived? You see, a child survived, no. So no child survived. In male, so all in third, people who were in third class, 35 males survived and 17 females survived. People who were traveling in first class, nobody survived. Second class, nobody survived. So moral of the story, always travel in third class. Because if there is an accident, there is a chance to survive. On a lighter note, there is no such thing called third class or first class. Yeah, there's some sort of division. So it says. So yes, you can see this data which is there. Okay. So again, Control L to clear the screen. But what I'm going to do is that today I'm going to work on empty cars data. After empty cars data, I'll show you how to import data from an external file. Okay. So let me press empty cars. Empty cars. If I press empty cars, yes, see, I got everything in the console. Simply typing empty cars, you see, I've got all the data. Let me bring this, minimize it. Okay. Yes, this is my empty cars data. Okay. So, okay. So click Control L because it is consuming my screen. Now I want to know the head. See, whenever you use data, always type this command. Let's say I want to know the head of empty cars. Head means I'm typing head, bracket में empty cars. So this will give me top 6. It will give me the top 6 observations along with the variables. So head empty cars. Or okay, let me first type structure. Let me see the structure of this empty car data. Structure. What is the structure of this data? What is the structure? Command is str bracket empty cars. So it is saying this empty cars is the data frame. Data frame just now I showed you about students, roll number, all those things. So the empty car is a data frame which has 32 observation of 11 variables, and these are all its variables: miles per gallon, cylinder, displacement, horsepower, track, weight, usage, all those things. Now I want to know the head. Head means when I type head command, it will give me first 6 observation. Head in bracket, just type empty cars. Okay. I'm going to send you all these codes. You can go and practice it. So head. Now let's say I want 6 data from below. So I will type tail. Tail. I will type empty cars. So I press enter. So bottom 6 data I got. So structure, str empty cars, I'll get the structure of data. Head empty cars, I will get top 6 information. Tail empty cars, I will get the bottom 6 information. Am I clear? Yes? Simple. R is not a rocket science. Please put this in your head somewhere. R is not a rocket science. Any one of you, by simple learning it, and there are a lot of good books you can use, you can read it, and you can master R, and you can write papers, publish papers. I'll show you two of my papers. One paper, both the papers are presented in an international conference. I'm going to show you those 2 papers which has been done using only R. And I'll tell you one more story about how I ended up learning R, because this is going to help you a lot. Long back ago, 3 years back, I was looking for a cracked version of SPSS. Let me deflect slightly, I'll come to the topic. I was looking for a cracked version of SPSS. And I was not knowing how to use SPSS. My friend said that SPSS is very user-friendly. So somehow I could not get a cracked version. Then I got to know that R is open source and all those things. And also I downloaded R, started using it. And I'm so comfortable with R that today I find SPSS to be tedious. I don't like SPSS. I don't like its interface. And if I want to do anything, I simply click on R and I use it. You can see now there is this symbol. I have SPSS in my computer also, but I rarely use it. I don't like SPSS. I use only R. Even for my PhD, I'm pursuing my PhD from Pondicherry Central University, where I'm using R for all my research work, even in my PhD. Yes. So let me press Control L. Okay. So again, structure, structure bracket empty cars. If I press enter, yes, this is the structure. Okay. Now you remember, if you see this data, empty cars data, it has MPG. Now let me type MPG. Can I type MPG? Can I get the information? Earlier when I was typing English, I was getting, when I was typing HIST, I was getting history information. When I was typing roll number, I was getting roll number information. Why I was getting? Because there was a vector. Because I created lot of vector. You see this environment window? There is a vector in the name of English. So if I type ENG, I will get all the values. There is a vector. History, maths, name. So if I simply type this, I'll get a value. But is there a vector in the name of MPG which has values in it? No. If I type MPG, press enter, it is showing error because there is no such defined vector called MPG. Now, but in this data frame, 32 observation, 11 variables of MTR, I only want MPG value. Can I get it? How can I get it? Anybody can give me a guess. How can I get it? Only MPG value I want. I hope some of you are using R in your, maybe in your research, or maybe. Now I want only MPG data. I don't want any other data. So how will I do? Just pay attention. See, just mute somebody's mic is on. See, empty cars is the name of the file. Is the name of the, sorry, not file, data set. Simply press dollar. Can you see dollar symbol? It number 4. And simply type MPG. Now see, when I type dollar, immediately RStudio is so wise, it understood. Oh, so you are asking a specific information. What did I do? Empty car is the name of the data set, and simply if I type dollar shift 4, immediately R understood. This gentleman is asking MPG, is asking SCYL, yeah, asking displacement. All the variables, 11 variables are here. So now I want only MPG information. How will I go about it? MPG, enter. See, now I got only information of MPG. Let me press Control L, go upper arrow key, yes. And you see empty cars, dollar. So dollar sign is used to get one specific value that you are looking for. Empty cars. Similarly, let's say I want horsepower information. So empty car, I'll plus upper arrow key, go back. Yes. Simply type dollar once again. It will give me a hint. Let's say I want HP. If I type, I'm getting HP. So from a data frame, by using a dollar symbol, I can get a specific information. Am I clear? Okay, so let me Control L and press upper arrow. And now let me play with MPG. Now let's say I want the mean of MPG. Mean. Anand, all the way up. Okay. So now let's say I want mean of this MPG. I will simply type mean bracket empty cars dollar MPG. I'm getting the mean of all this 32 observation. I'm getting the mean. Let's say, can I get a median? Let me try median. Median. Oh, okay, what I'll do? Why should I type again? I should press the upper arrow key and simply go back and press this as median. Make it as median. Okay. So if I do this, I'm getting a median. So median. Let's say, can I get a minimum value out of this? Minimum. Or okay, why should I type again? Press upper arrow key. Go back. Can I type minimum? MIN minimum. Enter. Yes, I'm getting the minimum value. Can I get a maximum value? Yes, I can. Press upper arrow key. Go back. Press max. This is the maximum value. This is the maximum value. Can I get the range? What is the formula for range? Minimum minus maximum. So simply range. Why should I type again? I'm a lazy person. Simply I'll go back. I'll type range. RANGE. Enter. I'm getting a minimum value, maximum value. Getting? Okay. Yes. Now let's say I want standard deviation. SD. Standard deviation. Okay. So why should I type again? I'll go up. Simply type SD. Standard deviations. Okay. This is 6.0. Okay. Now let me ask you one question. Let me ask you. What is standard deviation? There are many people who don't know what is standard deviation. And they find it too difficult to explain. Come on. What is standard deviation? I want to know from you. Come on. There is no wrong answer. In this class, we all are here to learn. And I promise you at the outset that I'm not going to, in fact, I'm not going to make you the expert in R. It is you who has to make yourself the expert. So what is standard deviation? Come on. If anybody can tell the whole class what is standard deviation. What is standard deviation?
The square root of a square deviation of observation from their executing mean.
Okay, square root and something. So,
Square root of square root of a square deviation of observation from their executing mean.
Okay. Now, how will you convince a layman what is the standard deviation? How will you convince a layman?
It's actually a deviation from mean.
Yes,
Or
exactly.
Deviation from standard.
Yeah, it is a deviation from the mean. In your data set, standard deviation is too high, then mean is no longer a reliable number. So, standard deviation, more it is less, the data is good. The data is mean can be interpreted wisely. So, in fact, mean, median, mode, range, these are all what you call as, these are known as, let me press hash. If I press hash, it will not read it. These are measures of central tendency. When I say measures of central tendency, friends, this include mean, this include median, this include mode. Is that clear? Okay. And when I say measures of dispersion, yes, it includes your standard deviation, it includes your interquartile range, it includes your variance, yes, it includes your skewness and kurtosis, etc. Kurtosis, etc. Just remember this. In fact, descriptive statistics. If you are learning descriptive statistics has two parts. One is measure of central tendency, and the other is measures of dispersion. So when you say standard deviation is a measure of dispersion. You are trying to know that how much is your data dispersed from the mean. Just now the gentleman said, he gave us a right answer. How much is the spread of your data from the mean? The larger the spread, the lesser reliable the data is. Yes, okay. Let's say there is a machine in a factory which produces something. So if there is lot of variance and that machine is unreliable, you have to call the technician and fix the machine. If the standard deviation is less, okay, itna to chal jata hai. Is that clear? So standard deviation is a very important tool. Just remember this. Okay. Now, can you tell me the formula for variance? What is the formula for variance? Just remember this. If you are learning econometrics or maybe structure equation modeling, square of standard deviation. Very good. So, what is standard deviation? Let me do one thing. This standard deviation, let me store in a vector called P, or I can use that A vector. A. If I type A, what am I getting? 6.02, and let me do a square of this A. Square means exponential 2. I'm getting square of standard deviation. Square of standard deviation is nothing but variance. Can I calculate variance directly? Let me check. Can I calculate variance directly? So, okay, one second. Let me press Control L. Okay. Okay. So, what I will do is that press upper arrow P, and here simply instead of SD, should I use variance? Variance. Press enter. Yes, I'm getting the same number. So variance is the square of standard deviation. Just remember this. It will help you because there are a lot of statisticians and people who teach structure equation modeling, they calculate covariance and all. So variance is very important. So variance is square of standard deviation. Square of standard deviation. Okay. In fact, in short, I can also write it this way, that standard deviation into exponential 2. Square of standard deviation is nothing but variance. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, yes. Yes, tell me. Any query?
No, sir, continue, sir.
Okay, so we saw mean, we saw median, we saw range, we saw standard deviation, we saw minimum, maximum, all those things. Okay, can I type mode? Let me calculate mode. Now, that's the difficulty with R. R straight away doesn't calculate mode. If I type mode, see, again, mode is a measure of central tendency. Mode means the value which is repeated many times, or the value which is repeated ever. If I mode, it will show me an error. It will not give me an answer. So there is a formula for mode. It is there. I'll show you later on. You have to write a formula then accordingly, and then you have to generate mode. That's the difficulty. Okay. Now, if you remember, let's say I want HP data. Can I type HP data? Horsepower, see, it is showing error. Why it is showing me error? Why? When see, HP is one of the variables. There are 11 variables in empty cars. HP is the variables. But when I'm typing H, I'm getting error. Why am I getting error? Anyone? Why am I getting error?
We have to write dollar HP.
Very good, ma'am. Ma'am is correct.
We have to give specification.
Dollar. So, but every time writing dollar, don't you find it is too tedious? Every time dollar. So what I'll do, I'll take a shortcut. Either you use dollar or the shortcut is use function attach. Attach and name the data file, data index. Attach empties. Attach function. Just remember this. Whenever we are importing the Excel file, somebody was saying, sir, teachers importing. So here we'll use attach function. Because every now and then, who will go on typing data, dollar, then particular variable? Who will go on to wasting time? Attach function. Now, can I type MPG? Yes. Now see, earlier MPG when I was typing, it was showing me error. When I was using dollar, it was giving me some good value. But when you use attach function, it means it has read all the variables. Now you simply type name. If I type HP, if I type weight, WT, everything I'll get. I need not take dollar. So just write it somewhere if you have a book of pen. The alternative to use dollar is attach function. Attach, just name the file. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, let us move ahead. Easy? Easy. Okay. Let me press Control L. Okay. So what I'll do is that, let me use the same empty cars data. Empty cars. Okay. So this is my empty cars data. 32 observation, 11 variables. How I got to know? From this str command. str structure of the structure will give me. If not structure, if I simply type question mark empty cars, also I will get everything here. In this, I'll get all to know what this individual stands for. Okay. Now, the topic that has been given to me is descriptive statistics, parametric test, correlation and regression. Let me straight away come to the point, because in short period of time I have to cover a very big journey. Control L. Now let me use this MPG. MPG. I'm pressing this. Now listen guys, the beauty of R is that I said, if you remember at the outset I said, R is a one-stop solution to all your problems, all your statistical requirements, even for qualitative research. Now there are people who are interested in qualitative research. R is also used in qualitative research for text analyzing, text mining, all those things and all. Okay, that there is a separate workshop you can attend, that how R can be used to analyze qualitative data. Is that clear? Okay. Now, who will go on typing again and again mean, median, mode, minimum, maximum, range, all those things? It's a big time pass. Much of you are wasting your time. In SPSS, you just press one button, everything you get it. So to make it simplify, R is also simple. In fact, I will say R is the father of SPSS. I would say this way. So I'll use one command. Can you tell me what is that command? Summary command. Just remember this. Always remember this. Summary. Write summary and type MPG. Enter. Type summary. See, now you're getting, okay, minimum value. Here you are getting maximum value. So in this entire 32 observation, minimum is 10.4, maximum is 33.4, first quartile, median, and mean I'm getting. First quartile and third quartile. This I'm getting. Again, it is not standard deviation. It is not. Can I get the skewness? Skewness. No, skewness is not showing. Why skewness is not showing? Maybe it is requiring some package. It wants some package. So for skewness, what should be the package that I install? There are so many packages. Can I see the car package? Okay, wait. Let me install a car package. Let me try. If it is working well and good, I'll if it is not working, there are other ways. Sometimes you get stuck up also. We'll say install.packages and let me take car. Press enter. Okay. You can see this red blip. Stop. It means R is bringing some package. Package is like a Divyastra. Okay. Package is like a Divyastra. You have to invoke the package into R. When that package is there, you can perform all operations. That's the beauty. So again, Control L. So what was the command? First command was install dot packages, and whenever you're installing packages, you have to use double inverted comma. I wanted car package. Yes. Now since this is installed, I will repeat it again. After that, once I've installed, use the library command. Library car. Okay, enter. So, yeah. Now let me type skewness. Does this work? If it doesn't work, there are some other things I will try. Okay, it is not working. Let me try kurtosis. If it doesn't work, there are some other method. I'll try. Let us keep on trying. It is not working. Skewness, kurtosis, again, these are comes under measure of dispersions, and you know whether positive is skewed, negative is skewed. It is okay. So what I will do, see, there is one more method. Can you see this tool section? If you forget install dot packages library, there is tool command. Here also you can see here there is install packages. So let's say I'm installing a package. Now I'm using a different method. Earlier I was typing install dot packages parenthesis double inverted comma car. Then when that package is installed, I'm using the library command. Okay. So now I'll not type install dot packages. I'll straight away different method. Either you type it or you use the tab. So there is a tool tab, and here there is something which is known as install packages. So here I will just type site command, site package. So there is a site package. Now what is the site package? If you want to know, how will you know? Question mark site, PSYCH, enter. Might be showing no documentation for site. Let me check it here. This is package, and let me check whether site package is available here. Yes, it is there. The site package is there. I can simply click this and I'll get. Here also I can click and I'll get. Okay, so yeah, site package is there. Okay, site package is there. Let me clean the screen. Okay, now library is there. Let me go back. Library ho chuka hai. Okay, now what I'll do, there is a command describe. There is a command describe, and just type mpg. I press enter, you see everything I got. See, when I was typing skewness, kurtosis, I was getting error. No? So I found some different technique. I found a different technique. First of all, I installed a package which is known as psych, PSYCH. Yes, you can see the full form of psych. Procedures, psychological, psychometric, and personality research. Use the psych package, library, psych, and just type describe. So when I type describe, I'm getting variables 1. See, just read this, friends. So variables 1, number of observation 32, mean is 20.09, standard deviation is 6.0, median is 19.2, trimmed mean is 19.7. When I say trimmed mean, it removes the outlier. Then mean absolute deviation 5.41, minimum 10.4, maximum 39.9, range, skewness, kurtosis, standard error, everything I got. With one command describe. But describe command will only work if you have a package, and that package is psych. In fact, when you will be doing structure equation modeling, there also the psych package is invoked. So psych packages are like disaster. That's if you remember in Mahabharata, if you want to kill a special demon or a very powerful demon, you require a Brahmastra. So all these packages which are there in they are a Brahmastra. If that Brahmastra is not there, you won't be able to do that particular function. So that's the beauty of R. There are so many packages which are there in R. Okay, so if I can remove this, see, detach. Now this is detached. Now if I, let's say, describe again, okay, I just removed the stick, now it is detached. If I type upper arrow key, wait, press escape, sometimes it suddenly hangs, press enter. Okay. If I press upper arrow key, if I press describe, now it is showing error. Can you tell me why? Describe MPG, I'm getting some command. Again, when I say describe, it is not giving me. So here, the package is detached. Detached means earlier it was attached, now it is detached. So when you detach, describe function will work. Okay? So if you want describe function to work, you require a package. And the name of that package is psych. Remembering this? Okay? Okay. So we are done with this thing now. Okay. Now let us go into the next step, that is importing of data sets. Okay, I hope some of you are having R in your machine, and this is the folder that I have developed, and I've given you some data sets to practice. Today after this session, I hope the session is being recorded and you can rewind the session and you can work slowly in your machine. So I've given you a package ANOVA, data, DSTT, ISTT, OSTT, R course regression, and all those things. Okay. So let me do one thing. Now, before proceeding to this file, let me teach you regression and correlation. Okay. So after that, we'll cover hypothesis. See, in fact, regression, correlation, and parametric test, these are all hypothesis testing technique. So before going to regression, correlation, let me tell you something about this is my this is a notepad. I'm using notepad. So now the topic is hypothesis testing. This is what sir has told me to cover. Hope spelling is correct. Hypothesis testing. Hope this is correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hypothesis testing. Okay. So what is hypothesis? We all, it is a tentative statement. It is a tentative statement which can be tested. Which can be tested. Now just remember, whenever you do a quantitative research, there only you have the concept of hypothesis. Yes, whenever you do a quantitative study, there you have something which is known as hypothesis. And whenever you do a qualitative study, there is something known as proposition. Just remember this difference. Hypothesis in quantitative research, proposition in qualitative research. Is that clear? It is always advisable that hypothesis should always be written in a statement. You see, you read any research papers, hypothesis is always written in a statement form. But you test using some numbers. Just remember this. Now, if I ask you how many kinds of hypotheses are there, what will be your answer? Come on. The floor is open, there is no wrong answer. Whatever you say, I will build upon that.
Null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis.
Okay. Yes, how do you write a null hypothesis? See, I'm not disputing that. So there is, madam said, there is null hypothesis. Yes, and it is denoted by, sir said it is denoted by H0, H0. And there is opposite of null is alternative hypothesis. Sorry, I don't have a PPT. I have a PPT, but I don't want to teach in a PPT way. I just want to use my notepad as a screen and then teach you. So it is denoted by H1, HA, whatever it is. In research papers, remember, you read any quality research papers. And my advice to all of you, read good quality research papers. If you are doing your PhD, your guru should be a good quality research papers. See, these days, most of the guys, they don't have time, or unfortunately, some of the guys, they don't have that much of reading also to guide you. This is the reality. I'm not saying people are bad. My guides either are busy, or maybe you want to work on a topic which is beyond the purview of the guide. The guide is only for name's sake. He's simply going to sign your thesis, whatever it may be. There are constraints that you being in the field of research and all. Your best guru should be a good quality research paper. Please spend it somewhere, because most of you are doing your PhD. Your best guru should be a good quality research paper. You remember in Mahabharata there was a character whose name was Eklavya. His guru was Dronacharya, but Dronacharya never taught him. Why? Because he was a tribal fellow, and Dronacharya only accepted people from the royal background. So Eklavya never had the opportunity to learn directly from Dronacharya. So many of us are Eklavya. Directly, many of you, because you are separated away from the guide, or you're far away from your guide, you don't have the opportunity to learn in the company of your guide. So in that case, a good quality research paper should be your guru. Whenever you are doing your literature, you see to it that you refer ABDC list of journals, and see what all techniques that they have used to test the hypothesis. So when you start reading ABDC list of journals, or good quality journals, B category, SAGE journals and all those things, elsewhere journal, there are so many categories of it. So then you get to know you're on a right track. So your guru, if you are onto the journey of a research, see to it that good quality research papers should be your guru. The biggest mistake which people do in their research journey, they download papers from ResearchGate, some stupid papers people download from ResearchGate, and they use it as a base and they build their argument. No. Always build your argument on some good quality research papers. Download papers for past 10 years in your field. Let's say you're working on leader member exchange, or let's say you're working on circle model or maybe whatever you're working, download past 10 years research papers and see what all new developments has happened and which is the area for you to build up. Okay, so always good quality research paper should be your journal. And whenever you read journals, you never find null hypothesis in a journal. Am I correct? I'm not talking about journals which people download from ResearchGate. Whenever you write research paper, you write alternate hypothesis. You never write null hypothesis in a research paper. You always write alternate hypothesis. So this is the first lesson. You see, take any good quality research paper. They will never write null hypothesis, though they try to reject the null hypothesis. Null hypothesis, every researcher tries to reject it. Yes, so every good quality research paper, you'll find null hypothesis will never be stated. They will write alternate hypothesis. Now my question is, how many kinds of hypotheses are there? And somebody said, sir, null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis. I know, but broadly speaking, hypotheses are of two kinds. Just have this in your mind. Okay, what is the spelling of hypothesis? I'm just forgetting. Yeah, sorry. Hypothesis. Am I correct? Is the correct spelling? Okay. Yes. This is correct. So hypothesis, broadly speaking, they are of two kinds. One is, just remember, first, hypothesis of difference. Hypothesis of difference. Just mark it somewhere else. Hypothesis of difference, and second is hypothesis of association. Hypothesis of association or causation. Just remember this. There's null alternative is there everywhere. I'm just removing this. So when I say hypothesis, there are two kinds. One is hypothesis of difference and one is hypothesis of association or causation. Now this is part of the workshop which I have to cover. Now when I say hypothesis of difference, there is something we can see. You try. This is a test of means. This is nothing but test of means. Mean is a very powerful, what you call as a variable, where most of the hypotheses are based on testing of means. Let's say if I say the average age of people who are attending this Iprems workshop is 35. If I'm making a claim, see, hypothesis is a claim which a researcher makes out of his own intent or on the basis of literature review. So if somebody says the average age of people who are attending Iprems workshop is 35. Now, should you believe this claim? No, you should test it. You should ask every person's age and then perform a test. Yes, is it correct or incorrect? So when I say hypothesis of difference, it is a test of means, and here you have something which is known as, I'm just writing it, this is, here we have one sample t-test. One sample t-test. Now what does one sample t-test does? It compares the population mean with the sample mean. One sample t-test, it will compare the population mean. Now I'm saying the average is 35. And average age may not be 35. The sample mean could be 33. The sample mean could be 45. It could be anything. I am saying the average of people attending the Iprems workshop is 35. This is my claim that I'm making. My claim could be true, it could be false. Now, how to check whether my claim is true or false? I will ask each and every person attending Iprems workshop their age. Yes, and then I will try to compare it with the claim. Claim is 35, but the average age actually stood out to be, let's say, 38. So my null hypothesis is rejected. Yes, so in one sample t-test, I am comparing the population mean with the sample mean. Yes, okay. So one sample t-test. Yes, then there is something which is known as independent sample t-test. Independent sample t-test. Here I will have two independent samples and I'll try to find out their means. Let's say I say the mean age of female researchers and male researchers of Iprems workshop is same. I'm making a claim that boys and girls in Iprems, they have a similar age. I'm making a claim that both are of the same age. Now this is a claim. Now what I will do, I will calculate the age of boys, I'll calculate the age of girls, then I'll compare whether are they same or there is a difference. Yes, so independent sample test. Then your third is your dependent sample t-test, which is also known as paired sample t-test. Paired sample t-test, which is also known as dependent sample t-test. I'm writing it here. Dependent sample. You have understood this, you have understood hypothesis testing. Just pay attention. sample t-test. Yes, and this is also known as two sample t-test. We'll have two samples, two sample sample t-test. Okay, and lastly we have ANOVA. Lastly we have ANOVA. Even ANOVA tests hypothesis of difference. What is the full form of ANOVA? Analysis of variance. What is variance? Is nothing but square of standard deviation. What is variance? It is standard deviation ka square. That is, so all this test which I have written here, then here we have ANOVA also, we have factorial ANOVA also, but all in all these four things are important. If you have understood these four things, all these four things, one sample t-test, ISTT, paired sample t-test, ANOVA, they are test of means. They are testing whether mean is same or not. So all these four tests, they revolve around mean. So mean is very, very important. Mean is very, very important. Just remember this. If you are a quantitative researcher, you should take the mean seriously. Now, when I say hypothesis of association, here I have something called as correlation test. And I have something which is known as regression. That's it. Tell me which is the other part of hypothesis. So broadly speaking, all hypotheses can be categorized under two. One is hypothesis of difference, and second is hypothesis of association or causation. In hypothesis of difference, which is you're comparing means, so these are the tests. In hypothesis of association causation, you're finding whether two things are associated or not. Let's say R.A. Fisher wants to test whether sepal length is correlated to sepal width. Or let's say, is there a relationship between demand and price? Or is there a relationship between low temperature and rising corona cases? Many scientists are like study and they have found that wherever the temperature is low, again in preliminary inquiry, people understood this way, that wherever temperatures are low, the spread of coronavirus is high. You see US, you see Europe, these are all temperate zone countries where the temperature is low and the spread of virus is high. Countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, the spread of virus is less. See, so there is a relationship between temperature and rising corona cases. Okay, so that will be tested by correlation. This will be tested by regression. Okay, so what I'll do is that first I will cover this simple topic, hypothesis of association and causation. You see, many research papers, even ABDC journals papers, either they'll use correlation to test a hypothesis or regression to test a hypothesis. Okay, now everywhere there is null and alternative hypothesis. In one sample t-test, there is null and alternate hypothesis. In independent sample t-test, there is null and alternative. Null and alternative is in everywhere. Okay, so now let me teach you what is correlation test. Hope am I clear to everyone? If I'm fast, please stop me. I'm pressing Control S and we are learning correlation. We are learning first correlation and regression. They come under which test? They are hypothesis of association or causation. Hypothesis of association, association or causation. Sorry, I'm typing it again because let us be very clear. Okay. Come on, tell me what will be the null hypothesis in correlation. Come on. Null hypothesis is denoted by H naught. See, whenever you're doing correlation, you require two variables. And both the variables should be metric variables. Clear? Any doubt? Please respond. Friends, please respond. Nobody is expert.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm not claiming to be expert. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Soptamai. Yes. Soptamai, Aarti. We have Himanshu. Let me see your name. A lot of. Okay. There are so many people. Lakshman, Shivani, Firdaus Khan, Gitanjali, Himanshu. So many people. Okay, great. Nice to see you all. Now tell me, whenever you are testing hypothesis, you require two variables. And both the variables should be on a metric scale. Both the variables should be on a metric scale. Let's say, let me take two variables, demand and price. Demand is always measured in kgs. Let's say how many kilogram, or let's say when the price rises, the demand for gold falls. You can see an inverse relationship. From the name only, when the price of gold rises, the demand for gold falls, and when the price of gold falls, the demand rises. Okay, so price and demand, and both are on metric scale. So what I will say, see, null will always say no relationship. What will null say? It will say there is no relationship.
No relationship.
There is no relationship between demand for gold and price for gold. Yes? 1 second.